All right, welcome back to ABA exam review and the continuation of our BCBA task list series. We're just about done with G, behavior change procedures, as we move to G22, use procedures to promote maintenance. Now, if you haven't watched our video on promoting generalization, I recommend watching that first because essentially promoting maintenance is very similar to promoting generalization. You're going to use many of the same strategies, and in a lot of cases, maintenance goes hand in hand. As a matter of fact, maintenance is a subset of generalization. And so even though these are separated on the task list, there isn't a lot different when we're talking about setting and situation generalization, response generalization, and response maintenance. So as always, we're going to keep it simple, boil it down to the essentials and what you really need to know for the exam. And then we're going to get into it and break it down easily. As always, check out behavioranalyststudy.com for all of our study materials, including our combo pack. When you pass your exam, please let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. Let's get going. So response maintenance, we're dealing with response maintenance. It's a type of generalized behavior change where the learner performs the target behavior even after the intervention has stopped. So response maintenance is considered a subset of generalized behavior change. When we talk about generalized behavior change, we're talking response generalization, setting, situation generalization, and now maintenance. Maintenance has to directly do with the intervention we've used that established a response, that intervention stopping, and then that response continuing. It's essential to ensure that behavior persists even after we are done teaching. And in order for maintenance to occur, we have to witness that behavior at least once in the generalized setting after intervention is done. So just like generalization, maintenance is key. Because if we teach something, we master something, and then it goes away in a month, are we really being effective? We're not. Always remember, one of our dimensions is effective. We have to be effective. Maintenance is promoted in many of the same ways as generalization. So again, go back, watch our video on promoting generalization. You're going to take many of the same steps. So how can we promote maintenance specifically? One, then our schedules, right? Let's move from a FR to a VR, for example. How will this promote maintenance? Well, we're reducing reinforcement or increasing the response requirement. Eventually, with maintenance, we're not going to be intervening at all. Therefore, the amount of reinforcement that's going to be delivered or earned for those target behaviors that are no longer being taught is going to drop pretty drastically. Therefore, if we can thin the schedule early, we can really get our client used to and build them up having to work harder or receiving less reinforcement. Two, teach self-management. Self-management is something we should strive for in all of our clients because we're not always going to be around. Their parents or their guardians or whoever won't always be around. Sometimes it's just going to be them. They're going to have to figure out ways to contact reinforcement and to engage in these behaviors without it being socially mediated. So teaching them self-management strategies is a great way to maintain new skills. Three, teach and reinforce in a variety of settings with a variety of people. This goes back to our generalization strategies. Again, things like general case study, program common stimuli, amongst the others. Using those to promote generalization is going to encourage maintenance as well. And then run maintenance trials or maintenance sessions where you revisit old skills and intervention to check for maintenance. When we run these maintenance trials, we're not just going through the motions. So a very basic example, let's say you teach your client 1 + 1. They're now saying 1 + 1 = 2. You stop teaching them. 2 weeks later, you ask them, what's 1 + 1? What are we doing? A maintenance trial, a maintenance session. We're just trying to establish, is that skill there? If it's not, then maybe we have to go back and re-teach it. Maintenance trials, maintenance sessions, very important. And then finally, what is the difference between response maintenance and setting situation generalization? all these generalization ideas, all these maintenance ideas are very similar. So how do we distinguish or discriminate between the two? Well, in order to discriminate between the two, we're going to use non-examples. So for example, setting situation generalization occurs, right, when a behavior change happens outside of the teaching setting. Setting situation generalization is not present when that behavior change is not observed in a setting outside of the training setting or situation. In other words, if you teach something, but that behavior doesn't happen outside of the teaching environment, we don't have generalization. With response maintenance, it's not present when we see the behavior change at least once in a generalized setting, and then the behavior change stops. In other words, we've taught a skill, we stop teaching it, we see that behavior at least once after teaching is done, but then the behavior stops. Now we're lacking maintenance. So, not really a super important distinction, but just understand there is a difference between setting situation generalization and response maintenance. All right, thank you for watching. Pretty straightforward video, pretty straightforward idea. Maintenance, super similar to generalization, just a subset. You're going to promote it and teach it much of the same way you're going to teach generalization. As always, check out behavioranalyststudy.com for our study materials. When you pass your exam, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. I'll see you soon.